Hi my angels and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a video with my first impressions on... I just whacked myself in the face with a box. But today's video is on the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. I've had so many questions, emails, tweets, messages saying, are you going to be reviewing this foundation? I was super lucky to be sent this box right here from Huda's team. And this actually has... open it. In here I thought I had one foundation, but when I open this out like this, I actually have two different shades. I'm hoping one matches me, but then I also have the primer and a buff and blend brush. So I thought today I'm going to sit down and give you my first impressions on it and also do a bit of a wear test as well. So this foundation comes in 30 different shades and they are all kind of grouped in fair, light, medium, tan and rich according to what's written on this box right here. And you also get a 35 ml in a bottle and it retails for £32. Let me just double check that. So yeah, on Cult Beauty it retails for £32 and the bottle itself is really nice and sleek. It looks very kind of like NARS-esque, but the actual bottle bit, this bit right here, is made out of plastic. Personally, I quite like it because it means that it's very travel friendly, but it still looks really nice and sleek and high end at the same time. And you've got obviously her logo on this side and the rest is all pretty sleek and simple. And I've kind of done this in a really weird order, but the primer right here is £27 and you get 30 mils in here, and it says that this is armed with rosehip oil and it's known for hydration, and the dimethicone is for smoothing imperfections, and it's got a powdery finish formula which grips makeup in place and controls oil throughout the day. It'll be interesting to see how well it lasts on my nose area because foundation tends to like slip and slide in that area. And for the foundation, my little box right here also tells me that this is a creamy high coverage foundation packed with ultra refined pigments for a buildable medium to full coverage finish, and it effortlessly camouflages imperfections and pigmentation with a seamless powdery effect for a flawless selfie ready look. And it also says that it is best applied with the face buff and blend brush. So now that we've got all of that out of the way, I am going to be doing half my face using this brush and then half of it using a beauty sponge beauty blender. This is actually the Tarte one. I've been really liking this again. And yeah, I'm just gonna get straight into it because I'm very excited to see how this performs. I've seen a couple of her Snapchats saying that you literally need one pump because it is very full coverage. So let's just get straight onto the primer. Ooh, okay, so it's white in color. I've done about 2 or 3 pumps of this on my fingers. Ooh, it's got a very kind of perfume scent to it. So if you don't like perfumey kind of scents on your skin, you might not like this. It kind of feels like a bit of a balm on the skin. It does feel quite heavy and it's got a slight kind of like stick to it. So far, my skin feels nice and hydrated and it feels pretty ready for the foundation. I have got 2 shades right here. This one over here is Toasted Coconut, which is 240N, and this one is called Amaretti, which is 310G. So this is a golden undertone and this one is a neutral undertone. I think I'm going to go in with the neutral because I feel like this is going to match my skin the most. I do love that there's a pump in here, so I'm just going to take one pump. I think we may be okay on the color front, so let's just go straight in. This is thick, very thick, and it is a little bit light, so I think I will go in with Amaretti. I think I'm just going to wipe this away and start over and just get a little bit more primer on this side of my face. So going in with the shade Amaretti, I'm going to take a pump of that on my hand. I think I might take a little bit more. Let's hope that this colour is more of a match. I'm going to do the brush on this side of my face. This also has that perfume scent in the foundation, which I don't mind, but it is quite strong. And wow, it is very thick. I feel like this dries quite quickly, and that is like a pump and a half, I want to say, for this side of my face. And my skin definitely looks like I'm wearing a full coverage foundation. It's not like undetectable on the skin, but it has blurred all of the imperfections on my skin. But as you can see on this side of my face, it is looking really nice and even compared to the side which I haven't sorted out yet. It has a matte finish, but I want to say it's still got a little bit of a glow to it. So my initial thought so far is I quite like it. However, like my skin does feel a little bit like tight and heavy on this side, but we're going to look past that if it is a really good foundation. So taking another pump of Amaretti on the back of my hand, I am now going to use my beauty blender to blend this away. And because this obviously is damp, I'm hoping it will be a little bit easier to blend out. And wow, I've only dipped this in here once and it's covered like a quarter of my face. The smell of this reminds me of Dior's Poison, I want to say, because my grandma used to use that a lot when I was growing up, and literally this reminds me of my grandma. It's so weird. So yeah, if you don't like perfumes in your foundation, I don't think you're going to like this because I can smell it every time I'm putting it on my nose. I still have a good half of a pump left on the back of my hand. So for me, the beauty blender is the way forward. I'm not the biggest fan of brushes in general. So I guess you could say I'm a little bit biased when it comes to brushes, but I do feel like the foundation goes a long way with a damp sponge, because on this side I used a good like pump and a half, whereas on this I've used like half a pump and I've got all of my face foundationed up. A good way for me to tell if a foundation is like full coverage or medium coverage is if it covers my freckles, and I can kind of see a few of them peeking through. Nothing too bad, but it's definitely medium to full coverage. It's looking really heavy around my mouth, which I don't really like, but let's just see how it lasts throughout the day, because you never know. It could be a different story by the time this video has finished. So I've quickly just popped some makeup on. I've just put a little bit of concealer, bronzer, highlight, lips, lashes. It sounds like it's a lot, but it's really quite just simple makeup. This is generally how I do my makeup on like a day-to-day if I was just like out and about. So my first initial thoughts are that it smells quite intense. It does make my skin feel quite like tight and heavy, but the finish is beautiful. I did put some Huda bronzer on top of my foundation and it's blended in quite well. I didn't have any problems with that. With my highlight, I put some of the Makeup Revolution highlight palette on and it went on pretty easy. I didn't put any blush on. I haven't put any powder on my face apart from a little bit underneath my eyes to set my concealer and just a little bit just right there in the center of my forehead. And the powder that I did use is the Fenty Visib matte powder. It's like my favorite powder at the moment. But yeah, other than that, my skin is looking pretty good. It's feeling a little bit heavy and a little bit tight, but I think I'll get used to that kind of sensation. It is looking really heavy around my mouth, but other than that, I have high hopes for this foundation. So it's currently just gone past 3 and I'm going to keep this on for a good like 6 hours at least. Now that I have done blabbering, I will see you guys all in a few hours. I am back, you guys, and it is currently 11:15 p.m. at night, and I have had a nice family meal. I have played with my nephews, which means I gave them a lot of kisses, so a little bit of foundation, actually quite a bit of foundation has come off in this kind of area on my face. I am just going to go through all 3 of the products. The brush I would give a miss, only because I'm just not a fan of brushes to put foundations on. I feel like I have to clean them so often as well, whereas I find cleaning beauty blenders just so much easier. The primer has got that perfume scent to it, which is the same for the foundation. I kind of feel like the primer was very heavy and very perfumed, so I don't think it's anything that I will gravitate to. All in all, the primer I think I would give a miss as well, only because it is very heavy when you first put it on the skin, and it's also got that really kind of perfumed scent to it, which kind of put me off, because once I had my whole face on, I kind of felt like this perfume kind of scent was following me around the whole time when I was like walking around, and I could quite smell it for the first like half an hour. But yeah, I'd probably give the primer a miss. I wouldn't say the primer is anything too crazy. The foundation, on the other hand, I'm kind of torn between whether I really like it or really not. I think it's a good foundation. I don't think it's like crazy amazing or crazy bad. It has definitely kept me looking quite matte, which I like. It has broken up a little bit around my nose, and it's also kind of gathered around my nose right there. But other than that, it has stayed on my nose quite well, but it's just kind of broken up in that area. Around my mouth, I feel like a lot of it has kind of like gathered in certain areas, and it has actually come off in certain areas. But this side of my foundation, like this whole section right here, has pretty much disappeared. And I've seen videos of this foundation being put onto like your hand, and then the hand being run under water and the foundation just does not budge. However, it's come off in this whole area, which I kind of feel like the skin on your hand and the skin on your face are completely different. So it's always going to perform differently on your face compared to anything that you see on the hand. But yeah, overall, I'm not really like crazy blown away by this foundation. I do really like it, but after wearing this for 7 hours, it's not looking too great, especially in kind of this area. This area, it's not too bad, but it has accentuated some of the lines that I have in my forehead. And I did forget to mention this earlier, but as soon as I put the foundation on and I went and took pictures, I found that when I looked in the mirror, it kind of accentuated these pores that I have, like right here on my face around the sides of my nose, which no other foundation really does that. And this is supposed to be like a smoothing foundation, which I didn't really understand. But I think it's a good foundation to wear for a short period of time. I probably wouldn't wear it for like a full day. It does photograph quite well. I will insert a picture that I took with my iPhone flash so you guys can see what it looks like in photography. It actually does make my skin look really, really nice and healthy and glowy, which I really like about it. But yeah, I feel like I just don't like the way it looks after a long day of wearing it. Out of the 3 things that I have, the foundation is probably my favorite, then the primer, then the brush, for obvious reasons. But yeah, overall, the foundation is good. I still feel like there are some better foundations than this, i.e. the Fenty foundation I really, 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 really like, and it lasts so much nicer than this on my skin, especially for a full day of wearing it. But as with any foundation, my kind of ethos with getting a new foundation is to always get a sample before you buy, because this foundation, how it's worked on me on my skin, may work completely different for you guys. But I wanted to share my first impressions and a wear test with you guys, because so many of you guys have been asking me to do this video. So I do hope you found it helpful. Please, as always, try and get a sample of this before you buy it, because it may work amazingly for you. For me, I just feel like it's a bit of a in-between foundation. I would love to see this mixed in with some other favorites of mine. But yeah, those are my final thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this rambly video, but I think I'm gonna head to bed now because I am so knackered. But I do really hope that you guys found this video useful. Thank you so much for watching, and I guess I will see you guys all in my next one.